Hey there, and welcome. Today, we are jumping into the world of special education to break down two really important acronyms, IEP and IFSP. I know, when you see a bunch of letters like that, it kind of feels like alphabet soup. But trust me, by the end of this, it's all going to make perfect sense.
So let's get right to it. IEP, IFSP, what is the real difference between an individualized education plan and an individualized family service plan? That is the big question we're going to answer today. So let's dive in and break it all down.
And we've got a great roadmap to get us there. First, we'll decode what those acronyms actually stand for. Then we'll look at what they have in common, because they do share some DNA. After that, we'll get into the nitty-gritty, the 5 key differences. Then we'll walk through what happens when a child transitions from one to the other, and we'll wrap up with the most important part, your role in all of this.
Okay, first things first. Before we can compare them, we need to know what we're even talking about, right? So let's just start with the absolute basics.
So first up is the IEP. That stands for Individualized Education Plan. This is a super important legal document for kids with disabilities, and it covers them from age 3 all the way up to 21. The key word here is education. Its main job is to focus on a child's needs in school and map out the services they need to thrive academically.
And on the other side, you've got the IFSP, the Individualized Family Service Plan. Now you'll notice the age range right away is totally different. This is for the little ones, from birth up to age 3. It's all about early intervention for infants and toddlers with developmental delays.
So they serve different ages, and they have different names. You might think they're completely separate things, but actually, they both come from the very same place. They share a really important foundation. And here's that shared foundation. Both the IEP and the IFSP exist because of a huge landmark law called the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA. The whole point of IDEA is to make sure every child with a disability gets a free and appropriate public education. And how do they do that? Well, both plans are written documents, and both are created by a whole team of people, therapists, educators, and you, all collaborating together. All right, so we've seen how they're connected. But now, let's get to the main event. What makes them different? This is really where you'll start to see the two plans take on their own unique personalities. And to make this super clear, we've boiled it all down to 5. That's it. Just 5 key differences. Once you get these 5 points, you'll have this whole thing down. Okay, let's walk through this table. Difference number 1, purpose. An IFSP is really broad. It looks at the whole child, their physical, cognitive, social-emotional development, everything. The IEP, on the other hand, is laser-focused on education and how the child is doing in school. Number 2, the setting. This is a big one. IFSP services happen in what's called a natural environment, which just means wherever the child normally is, like at home or daycare. An IEP is based in the school. Number 3, the team. An IFSP team is built around the family and always has a service coordinator who's like your guide. An IEP team is based at the school, so it includes folks like the child's teachers. Number 4, your role as a family member. In an IFSP, the family's needs are front and center and you're involved all the time. With an IEP, you are absolutely a legally equal team member, but you might only meet with the full team once a year. And finally, number 5, updates. An IFSP gets a fresh look every 6 months. An IEP gets updated once a year. You can really see the shift, can't you? It moves from a family service to an education service.
And knowing those differences is so incredibly important, because for so many families, there's a huge moment when all this becomes very real, the transition. It's what happens when your child is about to turn 3.
Now, this whole transition doesn't just happen overnight. The process actually kicks off about 6 months before your child's 3rd birthday. Your trustee service coordinator, the one from your IFSP team, is there to help guide you through it. The local school gets involved, they figure out if new evaluations are needed, and then the big decision. They determine if your child is eligible to receive special education services in school. Okay, we've talked a lot about plans and teams and laws, but I want to shift gears for a minute and talk about the single most critical person in this whole process. And it is not a teacher, it is not a therapist, and it's not a coordinator. It's you. So, as we saw, the style of your involvement might change. With an IFSP, you might be right there for every therapy session. With an IEP, maybe it's more focused on those big annual meetings. But here is what absolutely does not change: your power. You are a legally equal member of that team. You know your child better than anyone on this planet. You are their #1 advocate, and your voice, your input is absolutely essential. So look, as you navigate this world of letters and meetings and plans, I just want to leave you with this final thought. No matter what kind of meeting you're in, no matter what plan you're discussing, never, ever forget this one simple truth. Remember, you're exactly what your child needs. You are their expert, you are their advocate, and you are, without a doubt, the most powerful tool they have.